myself a wooden sword, and it's not sharp. It only has a very, very blunt end, which I sanded down and made into like a very little cute point. It doesn't have anything on this end, but I'm going to wrap it. And so I have this urge to learn the art of using a prop or a component to harness like more energy, you know, martial arts, that kind of thing. Recently I have been watching a lot of Star Wars, which watching the Jedis fight with their lightsabers has just been so beautiful, and yeah, I love it. So this is part of the talk. It's relevant that I'm doing things that I love, okay? So it's very simple. It doesn't take an awful lot of thinking, actually. It takes feeling. And so I'm going to start at the beginning and how this all kind of grew and manifested for me, because that is the best place to start, right? Okay. Right. It was 2022. I went through a breakup, and breakups, they can be very messy, they can be very peaceful, they can be filled with anger, you know. And the breakup that I went through felt cold and confusing, and just, you know, I felt like I was dying at the time. I felt like I had nothing left. The sense of the world that was left in front of me was pure darkness at the time, and that kind of grief, you know, it really takes hold of your very being. You can't comprehend life anymore in those states. They feel like they're forever, but they're very temporary. They feel like they shouldn't be happening, but they're necessary. And that is for me the most beautiful part about it. Is it's actually getting through those things and learning to appreciate with a total awareness that those things are supposed to happen for the right reasons. And so that journey led me to letting go, and this is the beginning for me. This is where it all starts. I think this is probably the most important step. Obviously we've got to deal with trauma, we've got to introspect, we've got to look at ourselves and, you know, try and find what we are letting take hold of us. We've got to acknowledge what we don't like about ourselves, behaviours, and we've got to work on self-improvement and self-love. But I think letting go is so vital to the beginning of the process, because it does something wonderful where it brings a lot of presence. So when you start to let go of things, you stop focusing on the past, you stop focusing on wanting to control things, because you're releasing the things that are that you're attached to, right? So letting go just allows you to be lighter, to breathe, to start making space. You're letting go, so you're actually like filtering things out. You're allowing things to leave and go away, you know, but accept them and thank them, but let them go. And then you're creating space within yourself to acknowledge the presence of life, and it allows you to become more spiritual, even if you don't realize it at the time, even if you don't know that that's what's happening. It's bringing the spiritual aspect of what you already are into being. That's the only way I can describe it. And so what happened for me is, and this, I actually did a whole video about letting go of creativity, but what I didn't realize at the time was that I was letting go of so much more than creativity. I was letting go of judgment, and I was letting go of expectations, and I was letting go of the need to control how things were going to turn out. It was this beautiful process, and I didn't even know that that's really what was going on at the time. I just made a decision to let go of art and creativity as if it didn't exist. But within that same space, there I was, absorbing all of the beauty of nature and life, and building up all this creativity within myself, and still doing videos which unbeknownst to me at the time was me being creative. I was just letting go of the area of creativity that I'd always put pressure on, and started doing things that I didn't put pressure on. So things that didn't seem like there was any expectation within, and I just let myself grow. So I would say for sure that when you're beginning to want to explore, so when you're feeling that like hint or nudge towards something else that, you know, is more pleasing, where you feel this idea of a life arising that is more enjoyable, more pleasurable, more beautiful than the life that you're in. I think in that space, especially from the time that I was in that space, I was very frustrated with where I was at. But then I had to take a step back and realize that where I was at was exactly where I was supposed to be, because I couldn't get to the next place without it. So what I had to do was, and this is what I would always suggest, is rather than stressing in your mind about wanting to get out of the space you're in, acknowledge the space you're in, but acknowledge that there are things that you want to do outside of that space. How can you make small steps towards those things? Can you write them down? Can you visualize them? Can you sit in a quiet, natural space like this and meditate on it? Can you talk about it out loud to yourself? And feel good about it, you know, feel really good about it. And that's what I remember doing at the beginning. I compartmentalized everything, and then I wrote it all down, and I said, what do I want? And it wasn't material things, it was feelings, it was situations, it was interactions, places. And I remember doing that and just feeling so fulfilled already. I'd hated the jobs I was in at the time, and then I took a step back and decided to look at what is good about these jobs. You know, what are these jobs actually giving me for the better, rather than me hating where I'm at. And I can't remember what happened, but all of a sudden there was the quickest switch. I remember going back to work one day, and I suddenly saw the good in it. I suddenly, because I started fulfilling myself outside of work. So I would start making my videos, and, you know, going to all the places that I loved, natural spaces, taking trips by myself, listening to healing frequencies, meditating. Learning how to meditate was the most beautiful thing for me. It opened me up to this whole spiritual process. I found that reading A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle helped massively. Like I would read it bit by bit, not binge it all in one day, and it seemed like what I was getting from it was aligning with the progress that I was in. Whatever. And so, you know, what I like to encourage the most for people is, rather than, like, if I talk to someone, I don't want to ask them, what do you do? Because a lot of the time people will respond with, you know, the job that they do, and then it makes them feel low, because a lot of the time people are in jobs that they don't enjoy. So instead, I like to ask people, what do you love to do? Like, what fulfills you? The questions that make people get into the things they love the most. And okay, I acknowledge that it can be challenging, but you've got to sit and talk to yourself, okay? You've got to sit and chat with yourself, and you've got to say, is it worth me being unhappy for a large portion or the rest of my life doing something I don't enjoy? Or is it worth me going for what I love because that is gonna make me happier in life? And you know, we get so worried about leaving jobs and finances and how we look and what's on the other side of things, but if we always think about what's on the other side of things, then we would never do anything. You know, we'd always be scared, and fear is one of the biggest prisons you can put yourself in internally. And I lived in fear for the longest time, and I could feel that everything that I wanted to do, fear would just hold me back. My lack of self-confidence, self-sabotage, confusion, and lack of awareness, and failure to want to acknowledge myself and my life. And the thing is that I don't regret any of it. I don't wish that any of it hadn't happened. I don't think that any of those things should not have existed when they did, because all of it has built me up to sitting here and doing this video. I had this sort of premonition so long ago, and I used to vocalize this. I used to say, I can see me doing videos, and I'm in it, but I don't know how or what, but I can feel it, and I sit here now, and it's like deja vu, but like, it's just so beautiful. I can't even, like, how do you even put that into words? You know, it's the spirit of life. It's the divine movement of energy, and the glorious journey that we go on in life. And it's got challenges, yes, so many challenges, and it's confusing at times, yes, but would you rather take a chance doing what you love doing? And you're not failing if you have a perceived failure. The failure is literally only telling you that, you know, there's another direction to go in, or, you know, you try again and something new arises, and it's letting go. And I think that is the main thing, is you've got to let go of the expectation, and you've got to let go of the attachment to the outcome. There it is. The attachment to the outcome. And you can find all of this online. It is repeated over and over and over again. You'll find it all over YouTube. You'll find it all over the internet. Everybody says it. The attachment to the outcome is a lot of the time what holds us back, because we're too busy thinking about that point and about how we get there and what it's going to be like, that we can't even move towards it. But instead, just imagine this open space that is allowing you to do whatever you feel. And you got to do what feels good. You got to do what feels good. What are you passionate about? What do you love? What do you like? Small steps. One day a week. Can you do something you love? Can that manifest into something bigger? Can you bring into fruition the things that you love the most in life? And can you fill your soul up with the goodness that is here, that exists, that is the energy that flows through us all, that connects us to everything that the universe provides, that we are, you know, ascending into this new time in existence where people are waking up and seeing that we can be happier. I want to thank you. And by the way, I'm going on a big trip. I'm starting in Mexico, but Mexico is just getting me there. I'm actually heading down to like Peru and Colombia. So appreciated, like this channel. I want to take it with me, but I also would honestly love it so much if it could be my thing in going there and chatting and just, yeah, living life. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Love you all. Bye.